Just by watching these two teams play, I think 5-man is a much better team. On a good day, 5-man can win against any of the pretty much teams in the world, I would say. They have their own way of approaching to the game, like how they're going to draft. This is something that we don't see, like position 4x. Last time I've seen position 4x in the being played in competitive scene, I believe it was Team Secret playing it like 6 months to a year ago, where Yappy just went Meteor Hammer on the hero. He got level 2 in jungle. That's what he did.
Just go get your farm. So yeah, Axe is going to be an interesting one. Now, my primary question when looking at this draft really is, how bad do you feel for the Void up against Pugna, Kunkka, Drow Ranger? Lots of things to really mess up with him when he pops that chrono. Do you think he's going to have a tough game as Ace?
In this type of scenario where you have a lot of counters, you build differently. You don't go for, like, I'm going to go in, deal as much damage as I can during the Chronosphere, because they have a save. So you need to itemize differently, getting something like Heaven's Halberd, being tanky, getting in and out multiple times in a fight. I think this is the build to go for in this type of a game.
Well, there's a nice little skewer there from Velior, but still, Bounty Runes going 2 for 1 so far. The deeper one for the Radiant still available, which it looks like either Pugna or them. Oh, hello. Might get Nefrit as well. Jibbe does fall, but it is the 1 for 1 trade. Battle Hunger there from Misery, allowing him to chase down the Drow Ranger.
Okay, Misery getting some solo XP. He needs half a level to get himself to level 2. I mean, one of the reasons why they decided to shift things, put Axe on position 4, is if he was an off-laner trying to get the farm, he wouldn't get any CS. Against the Enchantress, there's Enchant slow, there's Frost Arrow slows. It's melee hero against 2 range heroes with a bunch of slows, so you're not going to get too much out of XP or CS, so that's why they decided to change this. I want to see a mid matchup, see how it goes. Chessie, 1 CS only to his name. Kunkka already 4. Like, we've seen this exact matchup yesterday when Tempo played against Nigma. It's just a Kunkka favorite matchup, that's all. You hit level 6 faster. If there's a rotation, you might even need it if you keep harassing him. You can easily get a solo kill once you hit level 6.
Yeah, it's always been this way, right? And even with the buffs to Zeus and kind of the nerfs to Kunkka over time, it still is pretty hard for Zeus. Always fully reliant on that Arc Lightning to get himself CS. And we did see in that bottom lane exactly what you were talking about. The 2 slows, the damage from Nefrit and G, and really trading regen much more effectively than their opponents are, as Pylai Die drops down to Velior as that creep wave pulled back. And a quick little skewer there with a shockwave early on.
I like what Pylai Die did. He bought 2 tangos and boots of speed. He understood, like, if I keep playing like this, I'm not gonna get you know, my boots of speed ever, so I'm just gonna buy it straight away. I tend to die more than other position 5 heroes bottom lane. There's a bunch of harass going on that Axe. And I think you have 100 move speed when they use Enchant and Frost Arrows.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Stuck in mud. Misery for now chasing back G, forcing out the salve. Well, a little bit of body blocking from the Treants there, making Nefrit's life a little bit miserable. And definitely kill threat on all of these lanes. And Pugna position 3 up against that Faceless Void. Ranged up against melee, you got that nice little trade and harass from the Malik Pugna, and you've basically got 2 1v1s up in top lane. Pylai Die is trying to stack and pull and drag this wave back for Ace to have a much safer time closer to his tier 1. But Magnus is a tanky boy. He can start dragging waves. He's not really bothered by a single cask and a couple of clicks from Pylai Die. As Misery dropping it down bottom. There's the slows coming into play.
If he's caught outside of position, like, Axe should be dead. You have Nature's Prophet as your offlaner, which means that he doesn't provide any kind of stun, slow, save.
Chessie, so close to death. Melojul landing these torrents beautifully.
Radiant's middle tower is under
What does Chessie have coming out? He does have the bottle and a clarity to go. Still another 45 seconds till that first rune. And do you think it's possible here for Chessie to have some teammates come and guard the runes early on?
He definitely needs it. Otherwise, he needs to be super careful how he's going to play between 4-minute and the 5-minute mark. Top lane, Faceless Void, he should not die in this lane. It's a position 4 mag. There's no stuns, there's no silences, so he should be able to get a decent amount of farm and no deaths, which is pretty big deal for Faceless Void. And I love the build on Ace. 1-1-1 build in case they decide to play aggressive, try to make stuff happen. There's the rotation that you mentioned. Valor already lurking around the mid lane.
Oh, Axe,
Same
Axe
goes for
down
Witch
bottom.
Doctor.
Misery's getting slowed down. The Frost Arrows might be able to chase him here. G with a final hit will take him out with the impetus, while up towards the top rune spot, as Valior just grabbing the haste. As we saw the Kunkka actually X-Mark back to base with the TP, refill his bottle, and now you know that Chessie doesn't have that rune available to him, so you've got the advantage again.
Axe should TP mid and refill his bottle. Like, he can't even lane on the bottom lane anymore, so I don't think he should be the one TPing to the bottom anymore. Just refill Chessie's bottle.
Oh, sorry. I was wondering if Piladai would actually fall there. Chased out by a hasted Magnus, and you're absolutely right. The refill of the bottle comes into mid. And Misery now wondering where he's going to head. Battle Hunger up the Kunkka? Yeah, that's not going to last too long, is it? Oh, doesn't get the deny. Or the last hit. Well, I was definitely wrong with that one. X-Mark. Back into the Torrent under tower. Melojol might be taking down Misery here. Looks like he's tanky enough. And with that salve, he does survive.
Meanwhile, we have Valor getting a solo kill on Piladai. We praised Valor in our previous series that we casted. Panel also pointed it out that his game sense is very good. Like, he knows where to be on the map. And I already said it after the game that we casted. Like, he has a bright future ahead of him if he keeps playing like this. Full mana boots already.
Like, we've seen him on Tiny, Wind Ranger do exceptionally well. Magnus is a bit of a different beast, but if he can get that Blink Dagger timing and just keep powering up this Kunkka, for example, most certainly going to get his job done. As they start off top, Cask into the Maledict from Witch Doctor. A couple of batches from Ace. Should be able to secure this kill on the Pugna. They try and turn it back onto Piladai, but there's 3 heroes here for 5 men. Just leave the Magnus up there to soak a bit.
Whenever I see Nature Prophet as an offlane, I feel like he has great presence in the game, but not this one. And he will need some extra XP to get himself to level 6. Once you get that Red of Nature, you can start playing aggressively, especially if Zeus is level 6, and he has double damage in bottle, not the best rune to pick up.
Yeah, not amazing. He can go farm and jungle camp. Kunkka's doing the exact same thing back on his side of the river. But it does unlock that capability and potential now for 5 men to get these global kill threats open. Double ring of regen on the Faceless Void. You a fan?
Yeah, I love that. It's 3 regen per second on top of your natural regen, and you're going to be farming underneath the tower, so you don't necessarily need to get like a lot of tangos, and your courier is getting there sooner because you're not having any consumables on it. Right now, 5 men, what they should try to do is get 6 on Nature's Prophet and play globally with his ulti and Zeus ulti. Most likely try to get a kill on Drow Ranger, but she's going to be level 6 soon. So that's going to be a ton of damage. Right
yeah, that's
now,
why Misery is kind of...
Yeah, I think Misery needs to stay away from XP so that Jibbe gets level 6 faster.
He's been trying. Keeping that Enchantress at bay.
100
the
move
multi-shot. Yeah, he's very slow. And the damage coming out of this Drow and Enchantress substantial. As Jibbe now has to back up to his tier 1. EXTREMUM do notice Piladai shifting around from that top lane, kind of going for a wander now. And Radiant Observer Ward will see him head back into the jungle. I think Velior's done a great job at moving in towards the mid lane, causing a few problems, tracking back on the Witch Doctor.
He's also making some stacks.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike, Gary. We notice it at the same time.
But fools rarely differ.
Oh, there's a big difference between Zeus and Kunkka. He's 1,200 gold ahead of him, has a casual cloak, which I really like, especially if you're playing against Zeus or any kind of magical nuker. Nature's Prophet is 6. Right now, 5 men should try to make an aggressive move.
Anywhere on the map. Just try and find someone. Yeah, wand plus cloak on Kunkka, heading into Solar Crest, so he's going to be buffing up that Drow Ranger. Try and make her as strong as possible. As I did see Misery, yeah, he's finished off his urn, trying to get into the Tranquil Boots. So he's not going to go for an early Blink Dagger, but probably going to be aiming for that in the next 10 minutes or so. Gets himself the mid lane for a little bit. Experience and gold can start flowing in. Oh, Piladai Spotted by Malik's Pugna. Drops down the nether ward, blasts him and drains him, but not enough damage to get the kill. So would you like to see Chessie actually TP to a lane to make this play? Because right now he's kind of wandering out back onto the map.
Nah, he can just use ulti. He doesn't necessarily need to be near the kill. There's Nature's Prophet with the TP, ulti. Faceless Void has Chronosphere. They had those ultis for almost full 2 minutes. They did not make any aggressive moves, which I really dislike.
Yeah, very passive. And no Chrono either. Ace is farming jungle, and it's a lot of space here for EXTREMUM. This Dry Ranger just keeps farming away. It's not looking amazing for Nefrit. You know, it's been a comfortable lane. Still not near the top of the net worth, though, as Kunkka nearly 5k, but the rest of 5 men keeping their net worths relatively high as they do chase down the Drow Ranger now. The slow from the back, and Jibbe trapped in between a Wild Wing and a Creep Wave, but he just TPs back home as Misery is the one that's isolated now. The rotation from Kunkka catches him, and the poor position 4 acts 1, 4, and 1.
3 sheets to the wind.
Also, they don't have the best damage inside the Chronosphere. This is your position 5 Witch Doctor, mid lane.
Oh, see ya!
Bursted.
You can't run.
Pugna gets annihilated, and there's an Arcane Rune top for Chessie as well. He'll love a bit of that. Velior thinking about sliding in with a skewer. Opts do not go for it.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, Ace has some serious amount of farm, like nowhere near Kunkka, but you know, Kunkka had a free lane. He got harassed on the top. Still going for Maelstrom. This is a cheap damage item that also increases your farming ability. Like I've said, no shenanigans, no Battle Furies, Hand of Midas's. He's just gonna get the damage and probably get a BKB to fight with the team and most likely get Heaven's Halberd after. Let's see. There's the X mark.
Into the boat. Can Ace dodge this with a Time Walk? He tries, but doesn't quite get it off, and the Gust is there to silence him up. Well, Velior does actually throw the RP in for good measure, and with 2 cores up top, they bring that Void down, who, like you said, had been farming very well. And that Maelstrom build, it's really to match the tempo here of EXTREMUM, who should be playing pretty quickly, as Pugna is already shoving that mid-tier 1. Trying to blast it down with another one. Oh, good glyph.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pylai just trying to defend it up. Oh, mistimed blast, and that's a deny for Pylai.
Dire's middle tower has been
I
denied.
did some gold for Pylai as well. He needs to farm his level 6, and then he can play with other heroes. Right now, I just don't feel like he can make aggressive rotations. He's also holding on to Scale Point to see how the game's gonna go. Probably at this point, I would just put another point in Paralyzing
Radiant's
Cast.
middle tower is under attack.
Top lane. Now Prophet and Axe. As Pugna's going to shift around looking to try and shove these tier 1s. It's something that EXTREMUM do exceptionally well. Enchantress, Drow Ranger, Pugna, all very capable of taking down early objectives.
Dire's top tower is
And
under
they would
attack.
naturally like to play in that top part of the map. Drow Ranger can sit back in his pocket on the triangle, keep farming through the ancient stacks and that large camp which had been built up for her by Velior's Magnus. And I think EXTREMUM probably just let 5 men go down bottom. Yeah, have that tier 1. We'll take the rest of the map. No problem. And I do smoke up towards it as we see the replay back of the Faceless Void getting dumped by a bunch of ultis.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Weller was holding on to that RP nicely, did not want to rush anything, see how much damage he's gonna take in case he needs it. Another tower deny by 5 men.
Oh, they do get the X mark though. And Velior's arrival doesn't have RP for 20 seconds, but there's no real great escape plan here for Jibbe as he tries to hide in the trees. But yet again, EXTREMUM bring the numbers up top, and they're dodging any kind of ganks as 5 men move down to bottom, but they can't find the Drow. They'll only find the Enchantress. G in the river. Body blocked by Misery beautifully, and the Death Ward from the high ground. Ooh, Misery doesn't get the dunk, but Chessie secures the kill regardless.
That seems like Misery played tennis when he was younger. So Faceless Void level 10, Maelstrom finished, needs to buy 1 defensive item for himself. Like, I still feel like it's gonna need to be a BKB against the Pugna, against all those silences, against the X mark. Kunkka's farming nicely. He's 1,500 gold ahead of the second on the net worth chart. Oh my god, it's actually a full Solar Crest. Imagine using that on Drow Ranger. We see that top tier teams are doing it. Just having one hero that's gonna be like extremely farmed. We're gonna throw in a couple of auras, a couple of buffs, Lotus Orb, Blinkens, Solar Crest, you name it. And then he's gonna deal the damage. Also, Valor getting closer to his Blink Dagger.
Oh, he sure is. So what's your defense mechanism against, Faceless Void Chrono plus the Zeus damage onto a Drow Ranger? Is she going to go BKB after this Pike?
Most likely. Yeah, you still... Even though you're playing against the Axe, this Axe still very far away from getting a Blink Dagger, so you don't need to care about it too much. Both on top.
With the Nether Blast as well. Oh, wow. Nice hit from the Tidebringer there to bring Misery down. 5 men still trying to carve themselves a little bit of this map. But Magnus is holding that bot lane, nicely shoving the wave back out, so Jibe can't really shove towards tier 2. And we haven't seen Chessie do too much. He has just been calmly farming, finished off the Ether Lens on top of his double null.
Because no one is making an aggressive move. We still did not see a Chronosphere 15 minutes in. Your Axe is not going to have a Blink Dagger. Both of the supports actually on their side were level 5, 12 minutes in.
RP onto that Nature's Prophet. They do get the Maledict Death Ward onto Velior, and it looks like Kunkka doesn't actually want to commit for this while Malik dies elsewhere. Ace finally using that Chronosphere to good measure.
I'll take that.
And that was EXTREMUM trying to make that first step. They were the ones making the moves, getting punished for it. While G, he's looped around for bounty runes. Gets the Wisps out, but that's the Orchid reveal on Jibe now. And a lot of damage from that Zeus, annihilating G's poor little Enchantress.
I like the aggression from 5 men. They finally are using their heroes correctly. What I like about EXTREMUM, though, is that their laning stage is extremely good. If you watch their game against the Alliance, like, they were ahead. They were playing laning stage nicely. They understand what they need to do, but decision-making in the mid-game was which allowed Alliance to make a comeback.
Yeah, some of those team fights, especially around Roshan, were a little bit sloppy from them. Well, Magnus has Blink, no RP for 60 seconds. But with Chronosphere down, it always feels like that nice timing to actually go out across the river and maybe find a couple of snipes on these 5-men heroes. They are all gathering together. It feels like they want to smoke up. Velior has one. But it's not a move to go find hero kills. It's actually a move into the Roche Pit. You were talking about that Solar Crest, but the Zeus ulti is there to scout them out. No one's showing on lanes, and it's a big red flag as 5 men realize something's going on. But Roshan dies so quickly all the cost.
He does. I don't think they're going to contest. No Chronosphere. Instead, they're going to take, or at least try to take a tier 1 tower on mid. There's still Glyph available for EXTREMUM. Chessie, he is going for a different kind of item build. No save whatsoever. Just getting straight up Aghanim Scepter, which I really like in this situation. You can still get the Yule Scepter after, but they need damage. They need some damage to throw inside the Chrono. They need Blink Dagger or an Axe. I think you just give farm priority to Misery at the moment. And with Nature's Prophet, you farm different spots on the map. Yeah, this is exactly what he's doing. Look at him. TPing to enemy jungle camps while Misery has the lane.
Collecting some neutral items while he's at it as well. So we do have Blink RP ready for EXTREMUM, and that's why they're in this more aggressively postured position up in that dire jungle. Malik can pretty safely push tier 2 on his own, and the rest of them can go as a death squad looking for anybody that shows on that mid lane. Very patient, though, from 5 men. Jibe thinking about cutting wave mid, or is he going to go for a courier snipe? Does he know? He kills the trees, and he kills the courier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Where's this smoke heading? EXTREMUM
Top tower is under attack.
trying to get it into dire triangle. Zeus was here a second ago. I think they spotted Chessie.
Oh, blind
Torrent with the X mark. Very nice. Landing it straight onto Zeus. And look at how quickly he falls.
That was nicely done by Melojule. Just a Torrent to give vision. X mark the spot, even though it's not needed. Misery getting closer to his Blink Dagger. Oof. He has Talent chosen instead of putting an extra point in Berserker's Call. That's going to be a quick death on Misery on bottom. Nothing he can do about it. The problem with the 5 men's lineup is they have no counterplay. The ones they make a move, there's the buyback.
Oh, the buyback? And Prophet TPing right onto the Drow Ranger. She does have Aegis and a Hurricane Pike. And look at the damage on the Pylite Die. He Shadow Amulets and hides, waiting in the trees as the Chrono comes through. Landing onto Malik for the RP. Valior is there to save the day, and Pugna's still alive. Kunkka now arriving, and they've killed off Jibba in the back. Ace has to retreat while Misery trying to sprint away, but his buyback, well, that's the end of that one, isn't it? Poor Axe dunked into the ground as Nefrit's Aegis does get claimed. But Drow with that second life, and now a DD rune as well, Lacoste.
I think that buyback would be fine if they had Zeus alive, but they need Zeus to actually deal the damage. So 5k gold lead for EXTREMUM. They lost their Witch Doctor, they lost Nature's Prophet. He's getting, you know, not gonna say closer to BKB, but working towards it. And they got Aegis of Drow Rangers, so they can't play that aggressive for the next 2.5 minutes. Securing tier 2 tower, Kunkka with a BKB. Like all these small things aligning nicely for EXTREMUM at the moment.
Small things? Kunkka has 12,000 net worth. Hello, Zeus ulti, playing down bottom onto the Pugna. Finally, 5 men coming out of their shell a little bit. G doesn't have anything to stop TPs, so both Jibba and Ace get themselves back to safety. But how do you deal with this Kunkka now? He seems, dare I say it, unkillable.
Like he has a 10-second BKB, almost level 18. That's going to be a minute cooldown on a boat, so very easy for them to make rotations constantly. I think you deal with the rest. Ace understands, like, I need to kill Pugna, so he just solo Chronosphere, and we can see why they're replacing Valor in that fight so much, because he used RP to get Physis Void outside the Chronosphere, which was pretty sick.
Yeah, suck him out. Kunkka again. Oh, this time silence. Pops his BKB to make sure that the boat lands. And Jibbe trying to make that aggressive play with both Pylite Die up on that top lane. Nefrit thinking about showing mid. Mantis style now done on the Faceless Void though. So Ace has that saving mechanism up against the Ghost at the very least.
Aghanim Scepter on Zeus, so this is their ability that they can throw in on top of the global presence that they already have from Zeus ulti and Red of Nature. They just need Axe, Blink Dagger to set things up. If someone's playing different side of the map, being alone, Axe with the call just jumps him, and that should be a kill.
And it makes sure that they don't need to just bust out the Chronosphere. Then maybe, you know, Ace can think about a secondary target. If Axe finds the Pugna, Ace can go for the Drow Ranger instead. It gives them so many more options, and there it comes. Misery Blink. Pylite Die in an interesting place. He's been sat here for a solid minute and a half. He's warded, and he's hidden himself in a Shadow Amulet.
Cosplaying Chappie.
He's just chilling. He sees the Drow. I mean, he can set up here for a profit.
Let me zoom in onto that Witch Doctor, see what he's up to.
He's watching the cat-ear Drow Ranger hit
he
some
just
ancient
moved.
camps. Oh, hello. Cask into TP, the Thunder God's Wrath and the Death Ward. Well played. Nefrit tries to pike down, but that execution, beautiful from 5 men. Can EXTREMUM get something on the way out? Oh, they do Torrent to stop the TP from Prophet. He's going to try and sprout himself, but the Shockwave back, and with that life drain there, they will be able to pick him off with Valior's hefty hits from that big old hammer.
That was such a sneaky play from Pylite Die. At one point, he had to move because he was there for almost full 5 minutes. Otherwise, the game would just disconnect him. So he had to make a move.
Don't want to get an abandon. Pugna going to be healing that Magnus straight back up. As Misery on the high ground. I don't believe he's shown the Blink Dagger yet. Wants to keep that hidden for this actual team fight that should be coming. I think 5 men are doing a great job given how much control that EXTREMUM has in this match. How well this Kunkka's been doing. They're finding farm, they're splitting the map, and they're finding pickoffs. Valior. And there's that Blink reveal from Axe. And Ace didn't need to bust out the Chrono.
No need for Chrono. Zeus with just Nimbus. He bought a Blink Dagger. Okay, you need a defensive item to try to take care of yourself. Blink in and out of the fight. I would still prefer if he got the Yule Scepter though, because you can get rid of the Silence, the Cripify, you can dodge Kunkka's Torrent combo.
especially he's got brown boots going into boots of travel, as we very often see on Zeus. Having the move speed talent with Yules plus boots of travel makes you a speedy little fellow. But he has gone for the static field damage talent, just trying to amp up how much magic damage he's doing in these team fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is
At some point, 5 men have got to come back and address this top lane, perpetually being shoved into tier 3. But it feels like they've got their eyes on the bottom and the mid, the tier 2 and the tier 1. And they know that Kunkka just TP'd and X-marked himself back, so Kunkka cannot react. There will be no Melloduel if they do start a fight down south.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now it's Velio's turn to hide in the Shadow Amulet. Magnus cutting through trees and finding a little hidey hole for himself.
This could be pretty big, but the thing that you pointed out, Kunkka does not have a TP. He used the X mark to get back and clear the creep wave. They're still gonna lose a tier 2 tower on bottom, so
but
Mag
if Velio,
hiding here. Yeah,
if Velio
don't
cancels
think he can set it
TPs,
up.
no, I don't think he sets up a fight. I think they try and like push high ground and cancel TPs on the way back. That's a good smoke though from 5 men. And there is no commitment top either. Extremum don't go for it.
Gotcha.
Bounty rune time.
Big
Gather up
items
all that free gold.
coming on 5 men. BKB on Faithless Void and Nature's Prophet. I think you just wait those 2 items and then you take a fight.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can
so
get a
much against the
pick-off.
Pugna. A pick off like this, straight on Develio, and we see the strength of the Nimbus. Pearl die, even throwing the Death Ward in there. They weren't expecting 5 men to still have so many heroes down bottom. That was all without Ace. Finds a bounty rune, finishes off his BKB, and now you have that timing you were talking about. Pugna's damage in these team fights now going to start getting much more limited. As the tier 1 mid is the next port of call. 5 men will have to contend with
Look at Jesse
Melloduel,
on
who
bottom.
TP's in.
He was just
He's just
hiding in his Nimbus. Like, I made this guy. Look at this.
Well, he's not floating on a cloud, but he can hide in the Nimbus all he wants. Very rarely we see Zeus going high ground on his own at 26 minutes. Melloduel still waiting in the wings.
Arcane rune on Zeus plus Boots of Travel.
Ooh.
It's their time to fight right now. No Nature's Prophet ulti for 20 seconds, but, you know, you can still initiate a fight if Misery gets a good jump. You do not want to go in with the Faceless Void first in this scenario. You have Axe, so he gets a jump on even one hero. The rest are going to follow, get her around him.
And Roshan's alive. This is perfect timing for both teams to fight. They want this prime objective as Axe finishes off Blade Mail. And 5 men, they've pushed out that mid wave, the most important one when you're looking for these Roshan battles, as the jump onto Pylite die, skewer through the X mark. It's an easy kill on Witch Doctor. Holding buyback Pylite die. If they sniff out this Roshan attempt, he will for sure use it. Are 5 men going to give them this for free?
I don't think they're going to do it once again. Pylite die has buyback 26 seconds.
But Roshan's already dead.
Well, they don't know it.
That's Aegis and Cheese for Extremum. 5 men are still trying to get into this battle. The Thunder God's Wrath is there. Good scouting, a lot of damage. Velvior skewers out of the Nimbus. He's going to Shadow Amulet and heal back up. And where is the initiate? Oh, the Gust stops the Blink call from Axe, and the boat lands on the Faceless Void. If they can bring him down, that is fight over for 5 men, but they turn and face. With the Chrono onto little old Pugna, Malik is blown up, completely destroyed, and a 2-for-1 is how 5 men start. Aegis still being held by the Drought. And her BKB's ready. Cheese on the Kunkka, readily available too. As G slows down the retreat of Jibe. But Extremum don't have the follow-through. No Blink RP, no slows from Pugna. And Kunkka had already run away.
Yeah, this was a good fight by 5 men, where they take off the Aegis, they only lost Axe, didn't even use buyback on Witch Doctor, and they can reset. They can wait for another 2 minutes for Faithless Void to have Chronosphere up and keep getting those pickoffs. If someone is playing the different side of the map, go with the Axe, Nature's Prophet, TP. Like, it's a pretty easy Dota for them to set things up.
Yeah, they just completely ignore the Kunkka, right? Let him pop BKB, let him solo crest everyone. Focus down that Pugna. take Malik out of the fight. And Ace knows exactly what his job is.
I would prefer if Malik went for Eon Disc instead of a Blink Dagger. Yeah, you know, it's a cool item. You can try to blink out, but you're playing against the Zeus, you're playing against the Axe, so you might not get the chance to actually blink out.
Oh, well, it works out for him there. Slightly misplaced Nimbus. Chessie was trying to guess the movements of Malik. With that TP from Jibe, they could have had a snipe, but the Blink Dagger lets him escape. EXTREMUM now, still holding on to Blink RP. Don't forget, they're full. Everything's greenlit for them. All the ultis available.
Enchanted Quiver, found by Drow Ranger. Like, this is the best item you can get. It's a ton of damage. The extra 300 bonus damage, then extra damage from the marksmanship, reducing the armor.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Plus Empower.
Plus a solar
Death Ward.
crest.
Or Pylai Die. Not expecting the Glimmer Cape from G. And now with no buyback. But again, EXTREMUM very disciplined. Will be returning to maintain their lanes, make sure that 5 men don't have any free and open areas of the map to play into.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
G is
He needs to
incredibly
be
tanky
careful.
himself. He sure does.
Jibe's
He's going to
dead.
BKB, but the Blink RP catches the Prophet, and in comes Melojul. Just right-click him down. Sprout there with an Orchid as well, but it is lights out for Nature's Prophet. Like, look at the Enchantress. She's basically got Halberd. 2,000 HP plus Glimmer Halberd and a Holy Locket.
I was wondering what item is that? Like, I've never seen it before. That's a Holy Locket. Thanks for showing me we have an extra item in the game, G.
Very rare we get to see it. 35% healing amplification. I guess when you go for the Nature's Attendance talents, that starts adding up pretty quickly. Still some outer towers here as easy objectives in that bottom lane for EXTREMUM to take. Not super valuable, but it is still gold lining your pockets if you do take them down. And at this point in the game, where do you think EXTREMUM want to be playing into? Is it that dire triangle?
It's hard for them to set up a fight. Like, Kanka, okay, X mark, but you need to be in a close range. Magnus does not want to use RP just to start things up. It's a different story when you have a Coordinations Prophet trying to pick up your bounty. Of course, you're going to use RP to get a kill. He's worth a lot of XP and gold, but I think the one who should be playing aggressive is 5 men. They have all the tools with the Axe, Blink, Blade Mail.
And a smoke, which he uses with Witch Doctor and Faceless Void.
Full MKB
Chessie's
on.
gonna... Oh, hell yeah. Give me more damage. Zeus is showing top, but like you've been saying, he's got Blink, Boots of Travel. He can get into the fight at the drop of a hat. Telescope for Zeus as well, super handy. Prophet can always maneuver around the map with his TP. I said, oh, I like that scan. Dire scan top. Is the Zeus still there? Where's he hiding? Is he lurking somewhere? Now they've got to have a feeling that Zeus has moved down to regroup up with the rest of his squad.
Radiant's bottom
Refresher
tower is
and
under
300
attack.
gold on Zeus. I guess they're just waiting for that. It's an item that makes a huge difference in a team fight. 2 Nimbus, or Nimbai, and 2 Thunder God's Wrath.
Is it Nimbai?
I believe it is.
Same
It's
as
a
cactus,
Latin word.
cacti? Okay. You're a clever man, Lacoste.
Well, maybe I'm just stupid and, you know, I tend to sound smart.
You can make anything up and say...
Yeah. If you make it sound, you know, like you know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's an Nimbai. I read it in the Greek mythology while I was in the 7th grade.
No. You don't say when you're in the 7th grade. You say when you were in the library of the Vatican, researching, you know, 3rd century scrolls, reading Aramaic.
There's the call.
There's the Blink call, you're right, and Malik showing that maybe you were right. Having an Eon disc there might just have saved him and allowed that extra bit of time for EXTREMUM to regroup around him. And it's so quick, the way that 5 men can strike like that.
That was a wake-up call. Someone needed to call and stop us from talking this bullshit. They're still chasing. Axe trying to find a good angle.
Who can they find? G's on the front lines. The RP onto Void.
There's
And in
the
comes the
call.
call. Misery's there with the boat on top. They won't be able to take anyone down as they do allow Nefrit to get a double kill. Now Jibe's in trouble. Can they kill him through the BKB TP? It's a triple. Drow Ranger slaughters 5 men as it looked like a pretty good initiation.
It did, but
Radiant's
Valor,
middle tower is under
instant
attack.
lockdown on Faceless Void before he could get the Chronosphere or a BKB off, and he just dies. As I mentioned, there's no save. If they make an aggressive move, the only thing you can do is like watch them execute the teamfight the way they want.
There we can see it again. The RP comes, the torrent, the boat. The damage from Drow is so damn big. Death Ward lasted about half a second. Poor little witch doctor. Didn't stand a chance in hell. Now the high ground comes. EXTREMUM have 2 lanes shoving onto tier 3s. They've got a Hellbear to tank the front lines, and they've caught out Misery. Axe having a pretty rough game, 3, 9, and 6.
Dire's middle tower.
And 5 men right now, no great way to defend their base. Cheese is still up on Kunkka. They've got BKBs ready in a couple of seconds for both of the cores on EXTREMUM.
Tower is under attack. Dire's middle
And look at how quickly the buildings fall.
Everyone's full HP. Enchantress with the Holy Locket, with the talent that you mentioned, plus Pugna with the Drain. Everyone's back to full HP. This is something that Extreme lineup is very good at, resetting. They don't have to like fully commit. If they can get a pick off, try to heal up after Zeus and Nature's Prophet ulti. I mean, the fight might be different if Faceless Void gets a Chronosphere on one of the heroes like Pugna or Drow Ranger. I saw Pugna had Hex queued up, but he's going for E on this that I mentioned. I think it's a much safer choice where you're not gonna die during the Chronosphere.
And then you're not heavily reliant on just having a buyback on Pugna. You still need one, of course, but it kind of gives you a third life to some extent. So Elena Barracks down now, 5 men having a few struggles, but up their sleeve, they've still got that big wombo combo, the massive team fight capabilities with that Chrono, the double Nimbus. Always going to be a fear for EXTREMUM as Nefrit looking for Pylai die. Kunkka not landing the torrent there, and Chessie with Misery jumping straight onto Melojul. They maledict up the Kunkka. He can't get away from this, can he?
there's
No,
a
he
good
can't.
Chrono.
Chrono onto 3. Ace has found them all, and that's it. G's gone, Belio's done for, and 5 men actually move into the pit thinking about when the big man returns. It's pretty soon.
Is this one of those pauses? Sorry, go. Okay, you know, I mean, we've all done this when when you land the 3-man Chrono. They lost a gem. They lost 4 heroes, and there's a Roche. This is the fastest Roche spawn.
Go in the pit.
Ziva's gonna check it out. Like, let's get to Roche instead. It's a refresher for Zeus, so they can have 3 Nimbai and 3 Thunder God's Wrath. He has enough, actually, mana pool to do it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
And they go into the pit.
And Pugna tried to, you know, pull off a sneaky little one with not having Eon Disc completed. I mean, I can understand why. If Zeus hits the ulti and you get hit by one more spell, your Eon Disc is gonna proc. So he had it disassembled and wanted to assemble it during a team fight and failed to do so.
And all of a sudden, that net worth lead, which was really closing in on 10,000 for EXTREMUM, has dipped to almost nothing. We're back into a dead even game, which 5 men, surely you've got to be feeling has the advantage now with all of the goodies from Roshan. Cheese on Prophet. You mentioned that Refresher Shard and Orb now on the Zeus. And Ace with an Aegis. Not going to get blown up completely in these team fights. EXTREMUM on the defensive.
We already talked about decision making from EXTREMUM in the mid and late game. It's really not perfect. They had great opportunity to try and close out the game. They got the mid-raxes, you know, but this is the type of mistakes you make that loses you the game. Once again, you're playing against the Faceless Void, against the Zeus, so you need to be very careful about it. What is Axe building? Okay, he's going for Shadow Blade, so he wants the same thing that Mag is doing, just wants to get a better initiation. Timeless Relic for Zeus. I mean, things can't get any better.
Oh, that is really powerful. 15% spell damage, 25% debuff duration on lightning bolts and the Nimbus mini stuns.
He also got the mini stun on level 20.
Oh, he did. That's going to be really annoying. Like having to pop your BKB just for Nimbus. We're already down, down to 9 seconds on the Drow Ranger using it once. 6-second BKB on Kunkka. And Prophet
Dire are scanning.
has scaled into a right-clicking carry now. The net worth of Prophet doesn't look amazing, but he's still keeping up with the rest of the pack, the actual position 1s and 2s. As they do RPM bottom, Boat and Torrent going to be landing on Jibbe's head with the Abyssal Blade of Kunkka. They're making damn sure they try and bring him down with the cheese and the BKB. Helped out by the Nimbus. Jibbe actually turns the battle into this Magnus. The TP home will be successful. As Thundergod's Wrath wasn't enough damage to take him down.
I did not want to use a refresher just to get one more Nimbus, stop a TP. I think that would have been enough. I mean, it's a pretty sick combo when you think about it. Sprout into Nimbus, pretty simple. I don't see heroes holding onto Quelling Blades anymore. Pagna was holding onto one. Yeah, Kunkka has one. Like, I think you just swap the bottle and put the Quelling Blade in, and then you can swap the bottle, pick up a rune, if you can leave the base, because right now it's all about 5 men.
I think Velior just misclicked. I don't know if he was thinking about Blink Skewer there, but he didn't get the job done. Now hiding in the trees, or breaking down all the trees, deforesting. And we still have about 2 minutes left on that Aegis for Void with BKB Satanic. Ace is in an incredible spot right now. And it's so funny how Dota works. A couple of minutes ago, we saw this map completely inverted. Radiant side were pushing across the river. Oh, Velior. Can they see him? They've got Dust here for Prophet. He's already been revealed. Inside that Sprout, he's taken out. Does have buyback. And RP is ready in 30 seconds.
A Nature's Prophet as a core, he has insane talents. Like 20 damage, 25 attack speed, 8 armor. When you think about his talents in terms of gold, like it's a lot that you get from the talents compared to like 25 move speed. Yeah, that's Windlace.
And then, removing TP CD, that's infinite gold. Never need to buy a TP scroll again. Every lane converging towards Radiant side of the base as the Eon Disc of Witch Doctor now paying off. Nature's Wrath bouncing around. And Dire have some pretty good vision out here as well. Nothing up in the Radiant base just yet, as G has been centering and dewarding. But any move that EXTREMUM want to make out of their base towards the Radiant side of the map, it's all going to get scouted.
Still 30 seconds left on that Aegis. I like what Ace is doing, actually having a BKB instead of Maelstrom. Like when you have Aegis, okay, I don't need a BKB, but they might be a situation where you actually prefer to have a BKB instead of a Maelstrom damage and a proc.
Nullifier.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Is he really going to go for that?
Ooh, Arcane Rune on Zeus, again, level 25, and he will have Octarine pretty soon, just farming a buyback for now.
What's the Nullifier and Void good for? Just decrep?
Eon Disc, that's why he was getting it, and decrypt, of course.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Eon Disc. That's a good shout. EXTREMUM really just clearing out wave after wave. Haven't been able to start things off on their own terms. The Manta dodge not paying off for Ace. It was the bait out by Velior. Aegis is gone. The BKB's not ready, and it looks like Ace is just going to fall. He gets the BKB and the time walk off now, and the Chrono. It lands onto 3. Trying to focus down Melojolt. Switching to Nephrit now, but the Drought Ranger is able to BKB turn and fight, and Hurricane Pike down to the low ground. Focus down Ace, and the Void is gone. EXTREMUM double buyback the Magnus and the Pugna, while an X-Mark Kunkka catches the axe. The rest of the battle is Jibbe falling. Velior is able to get the work done, but he can't keep on chasing as Zeus makes a hasty retreat northwards.
Well, you said it, Garrett. Dota is a weird game. Suddenly we have 2 buybacks from EXTREMUM, and I'm not sure they're changing things around because 5-man should still be in control with the Chronosphere. It's just Ace was holding onto that BKB for a very long time, and with the Satanic, I think in that fight he didn't get the hits off to fool himself back to full HP. Heal himself. What am I talking about, Gary? I'm also confused about what's going on in this game.
No, I think he did fool himself. We just watched the replay back and he couldn't choose which target to go for. He went for the Enchantress, then to the Drow, then to the Kunkka, then back again. He couldn't decide who he actually wanted to kill. In the end, didn't work out for him at all as EXTREMUM back out into action. 3 buybacks available for 5 men, but the high ground shove is here. Pugna blasting away at towers. Melojul trying to go for the sneaky little torrent close to those tier 4s. And the buybacks are going to start coming. There's the first one in the axe.
Oh my god, that damage. Up. With just lightning and the bolt, he takes like 1200 damage off Kunkka.
But look, Magnus is just straight up dead. They blink call the Drow illusion, but that's another lane of barracks that EXTREMUM claim.
At this point of the game, the second set of barracks doesn't matter that much. You already used 2 buybacks on EXTREMUM. Next Roche may respawn in 25 seconds. It's being pinged out. Someone should send a treant or put the courier inside. Flicker, that's a nice item. Like, I was really a big hater on that item, but you can get a lot of different stuff dispelled, and Pugna's the one who's holding it. Might even, you know, blink out randomly out of the Chronosphere if the timing is right.
We'll see what he does. Oh, G. The Enchantress found by the axe here. Misery gets the call into the Nimbus. She's tanky though, 2,500 HP, and the sprites are going. Healing her up, a 2-man torrent into the multi-shot. Self-yules from the axe, trying to save himself as the boat will land, and G just going to saunter away, happy as you like. The Enchantress sproiking around. You can't kill the Enchantress.
Attack slow, 245 with a damage block and Heaven's Halberd disarm plus a miss chance. Even though they have 2 MKBs, it's still, you know, like they should just ignore Enchantress for real.
Plus a Glimmer Cape.
Just a casual Crimson Guard 45 minutes in on your position 5.
14,000 net worth. That is pretty insane. And Roshan is alive in what, 10 seconds? Everybody alive, everybody with their ultis.
Another Arcane
Death
Rune.
Ward. Are you kidding me? They're going to defend it for the Zeus. Come on, Chessie. Come on. Eon Disc on the Zeus now as well. How many do we have? Is there 3 or 4 in this game? I can't remember the last time I saw so many.
Well, against the Faceless Void, it's kind of a must-have item on your position 4/5. Arcane Rune, they're going to pick it up.
Pugna gets it. And they found Pylite Die. X back into the Torrent boat. The Aeon Disc pops. Now, where's the rest of the 5 men? Do they try and contest Roshan? Because they've got buyback on the Witch Doctor. And the big man's back up in his pit. Dire Observer Ward a little deeper, allowing Misery to swoop in. He's smoked. Who's he going to go for? Not the Enchantress, I'll tell you that. Oh, nice little gem drop on the floor.
They are inside the pit.
Dire Courier.
Dire's courier has been
You're gonna get sniped by Nefrit. Faceless Void with Misery's axe coming in behind. Roshan down to half HP. Nature's Prophet TP straight onto the Kunkka, but in comes the Magnus, the RP no. The Chrono's there to stop them in their tracks. Focusing down onto Nefrit's Drow. Can she get Satanic and Hurricane Pike? She can BKB, but she can't stand up against the damage. And the RP on 3, it looked good, but they don't have the damage to finish off Ace. So they just turn and battle. Melojul's falling, the Death Ward is beautiful. Pylite Die is being shredded by a Drow illusion, but the buybacks need to come through much faster from EXTREMUM.
And they can reset.
Meanwhile,
There's still Nimbus around the pit. There's still Sprout to scout things out. They had to buy back on Nature's Prophet. It was such a sick timing on the Chronosphere where he lands it right when Mag was about to land an RP. This is Cheese Refresher and Axe.
In comes Ace with Misery. Oh, they've got a catch. Melojul's tanky though. The boats will start coming on in, sailing onto the head of Axe, and the multi-shot finishes him off. Ace with that Faceless Void can't deal with G's Enchantress, so Roshan is dropping increasingly low. Enchantress and Drow back into the pit. There's the Void jumping in, trying to look for it, but there it is, taken up. Aegis Refresher picked up by Drow. The cheese is still on the floor as Nature's Prophet is being hounded. EXTREMUM finds Jive on the way out. No way of escaping. And 2 heroes without buyback for a solid minute and a half or 2 minutes. 5 men have a long road ahead of them.
5 men did not get anything out of that Roche pit. The Drow Ranger picked up cheese, refresher, Ags, and Aghanim's Blessing. She got everything. I mean, Ace should have gotten at least one of those.
Were his slots full?
No, he
Oh,
put
he
the backpack, power charge in the backpack.
Sad times for Ace. And now it looks like it's going to be a pretty simple walk down that bottom lane. Melojul holding that cheese. He had Rapier queued up for a second there. I saw it. Oh, does he have it queued again?
No, it's
he's going to go
Daedalus.
Daedalus.
He's super tanky, 4,000 HP with the Havoc Hammer. This Abyssal Blade is actually paying off. The extra lockdown that they needed, they're very limited on the stuns.
2 easy objectives and the final lane of barracks.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
EXTREMUM.
Dire's
In a
bottom
game
tower
of
has
swings and roundabouts, this has gone up and down. Like net worth chart has gone literally from 10k to 10k, one team to the other, and then back to 0 a couple of times. Drow Ranger sitting on, what, 400, 500 damage a hit?
And she has a split with Aghanim's Scepter. G just keeping her healthy. Same
So
goes
is
for
Malik.
Pagna.
Spamming out as many spells as he can. Zeus actually has his Eon Disc popped. Refreshes it up, and he's got all of his arsenal available again. And where's the jump? Waiting for Velior to make the jump, but it's Misery that goes in first. Takes down the Aegis of Nephrit. That's how quickly that 5 men can make it work. The RP's there, but Velior only takes down the Axe. Misery's caught by the RP. And Ace with a Chrono, the boat landing in on top of him, stops him from doing the damage. Nephrit's too tanky now. You can't deal with the Drow. She's going to turn and battle into you. Ace tries to mount the Titanic and heal back up. He's battling through, but he's up against so many. Finally, Nephrit falls, and Melojul with no cheese and no BKB himself. It's a great defense by 5 men. G stuck in the Sprout. Does have a TP, but with Jessie there blasting through the Enchantress, a great hold on that high ground.
Everything started with a great call from Misery. He understands, like, I'm gonna go in, use a blade mail, and we're gonna use everything, just drop on her head. We're gonna get her once, and Pagna keeping Drow Ranger alive after the Aegis still was not enough. This build on Ace really paying off. Eye of Scotty reduces the healing, the Satanic so he can heal himself, and the attack slow and the movement speed slow against any of the range heroes is just insanely good. Now they know there's no buybacks for 4 minutes on both cores of EXTREMUM. So they're gonna go in and try to, yeah, I think they're just gonna go and try to end the game.
They don't have the Refresher Orb for another 50 seconds on Zeus. Tier 3 being brought down, and they've got Crimson, yes, but with this Nature's Prophet having so much right-click damage, the Faceless Void jumping on Enchantress, not the ideal target. She will just halberd and sproink away, but the tier 4s are falling quickly. And like you said, there's no buyback on Drow. Kunk is down for 50 seconds. The base is crumbling. It's falling apart here as EXTREMUM don't have any answers.
Radiant's middle barracks.
There's not even an RP. Enchantress trying to deal with the Witch Doctor, but in comes Jibbe. He's BKB'd, he's salved up, and it'll whack away at the Magnus. Force him away as the final tier 4 falls. In comes Axe with a 2-man call. Beautiful jump from Axe. Finally, the Eon Disc and the Yule's up. Pugna saves himself for a second or two, but the Death Ward pummels into him. The repair kit's there. Pugna buys back, but it looks like it might just be game over. EXTREMUM can't deal with this pressure, and 5 men have swung this game for the 4th time.
It's not gonna be enough. Everyone just right-click it. We're gonna end the game. GG is called by Mel.